beginner to more advanced, that you're going to be able to build with and continue to build with over time as well. And again, no equipment at all. You're going to be able to do this right in your own home. All right, so this workout is really simple. All you need to do is know the alphabet.
Oh, boy.
Not backwards when you're walking on a line, Jesse.
Still difficult.
All right, listen, for everybody else out there, A, B, C, D, E, right? It goes through. We're actually only dealing with A through E. And what that represents, as you can see here, is 5 different exercises, with A being the easiest version here of a push-up, and E being the most difficult version of a push-up. So the ones that we selected here are as follows. Starting at the easiest, we have the incline rotating push-up. Okay, then we move up to B, which is slightly more difficult. It's a hand release push-up. We move to C, which is the bear push-up. I'll discuss what this is. Then we go to the decline wall push-up in the D spot. And then for this particular workout, the most difficult here is the one-arm posted push-up. So what your task is to choose the one that is most challenging for you, that only allows you to get maybe 3 to 8 repetitions. And if it's for the one-arm posted push-up, we're talking about 3 to 8 per arm. Now, let's say the decline wall push-up is where you start.
Yes.
You start the decline wall push-up and you do 4 sets of this exercise here to failure. In between each of the 4 sets, you're going to do this isometric contraction here of the chest in its most shortened position, with the arms adducted across your chest. And you're actually trying to squeeze this as hard as you possibly can. Okay, really trying to get a good contraction. After you're done with that, you're going to rest, and then you go perform the next set of that exercise until you've done all 4 of those. At this point now, you still got some work to do. You take the next 3 letters, moving back towards the front of the alphabet, and you do them in 1 consecutive drop set. So, in this case, you were doing 4 sets of D. Yep. Now you're going to be doing C, B, and A in a drop set fashion. You go till failure, you go again till failure, and you go again till failure. So in Jesse's case here, you can see that he would do the bear push-up. The fact that you're actually pushing up against the wall takes away some of the force of your feet down through the ground, making it more challenging for your body to lift.
Wait, Jeff, can I give them a tip real quick?
Go ahead.
Take your shoes off if you don't have enough grip against the wall. I found that barefoot was a lot easier to keep my feet posted up against the wall.
Good, yeah, exactly. So now, right to failure, and you immediately go into this case, the hand release push-up. Yeah. The benefit of the hand release push-up is you actually get reinforcement that you're getting your chest all the way down to the ground. Because by letting your hands up off the ground, you know your chest has touched it. You get a little bit of additional benefit from some rotator cuff work with the external rotation of your arms to lift them, and it does become fairly challenging. Yeah, exactly. So now, right to failure, and you immediately go into this case, the hand release push-up. Yeah. The benefit of the hand release push-up is you actually get reinforcement that you're getting your chest all the way down to the ground. Because by letting your hands up off the ground, you know your chest has touched it. You get a little bit of additional benefit from some rotator cuff work with the external rotation of your arms to lift them, and it does become fairly challenging as you start to rack up reps here. But you do these until failure. And then you go right into the last version here. In this case, it's the incline rotating push-up. The incline, of course, allowing your body a little bit less of the force of gravity downward upon it, so it makes it a little bit easier for you to perform. But the rotational aspect of it here is going to get a little bit more of that relative adduction to get a better contraction of the chest at the top. So what if you were able to do the hardest exercise, like the one-arm posted here? Which, by the way, is very similar in action to what's happening with that bear push-up. Without the ability of the toes to push down on the ground, we know how much more difficult that exercise became. But when you take one hand out of the equation, you prevent it from pushing down into the ground, and now one is pushing laterally, you don't get all that assistance, and you have to work extra hard to push to the other hand.
Believe me, it's tough.
So, but let's say you could do it, 3 to 8 reps there. That's where you would start, okay? And then you would go down into the D, C, B. So your combination would be the decline wall push-up, down to the bear push-up, and then down to the hand release as the final portion of that. And remember this, the part about this that's cool is this will always scale with you. Let's say you couldn't do a minimum of 3 reps of either of those exercises, the one-arm posted or the decline wall, but you could squeeze out 3 bear push-ups. Well then, that will become the exercise that you start with, and then you drop down to the hand release, then the incline rotation, and then we have this sub-A exercise, which is a squeeze push-up done from the knees. So there's always something, reps of either of those exercises. The one-arm posted. Part about this that's cool is this will always scale with you. Let's say you couldn't do a minimum of 3 reps of either of those exercises, the one-arm posted or the decline wall, but you could squeeze out 3 bear push-ups. Well then, that will become the exercise that you start with, and then you drop down to the hand release, then the incline rotation, and then we have this sub-A exercise, which is a squeeze push-up done from the knees. So there's always something you can do. Now, on the other hand, if you, for some reason, could master more than 3 to 8 reps of the one-arm posted push-up, just take it a step up. Go to the one-arm push-up here like this. This now becomes an F, and then you work backwards through the E, D, and C. And if you can do F, do a G. There's a lot of things you can do. You can continue to add a more difficult version or more explosive version of a push-up, and you work yourself back. But you do the 4 sets of that first exercise, and then you work backwards into that 3 exercise combo. Fact is, guys, it's a very simple structure, but it's the structure that matters. When you know how to put this together and you realize that for hard gainers, the best option you have is to ensure that you're training to and through failure. When you're home, the tendency is not to train hard enough. We don't have the benefit of a real heavy bench press to create that overloaded tension. What we need to do here is we need to create more of a metabolic overload. This is the way to do it. You take it to and through failure, and you utilize this mechanical drop set that allows you to keep going even when you think you're fatigued, because the exercise gets easier as you drop down. Give it a try, guys. I promise you it's going to work. If you're looking for a complete workout that's going to build your whole body, not just your chest, without any equipment at all, it's our Athlete Zero program, available over at athletenext.com. Anytime you found the video helpful, leave your comments and thumbs up below. If you think this looks good at all, give him some support, because he gets hell here at the office, I can tell you that.
It's true,
and if you haven't already, guys, make sure you click subscribe.
Are they starting it? What's up, Kobe?
PM on my feet and staggering through his place, words in a feeling. I got carried away.
Q. Yeah, I should have shot first. Ah. played that bad. Oh really? Both sides? Wow. Alright, time to watch the TSM versus Flag game.